Yes, we continue talking with Paul. He's telling us that these guys, he went inside and he was being harassed, and this guy, a dangerous guy he met inside, tried to protect him and stuff. So, Paul, continue your story, my brother.
Yeah, man. Like I came out and I decided like to cool off Calgary for a little,
Yes.
Plus, it was time when I was supposed to go to immigration hearings in
Right.
Montreal. So
Yes.
I went there, and the lawyer I had there,
Yes.
he was a real good guy, I mean, he treated me like, like we was a brother,
Yes.
Because when I told him I was out west, he put me onto that name, Told me
Okay.
anything happen, you call this lawyer.
Right.
So went to Montreal, and I told him all the bangarang that was going on, and I was going to the immigration,
Yes.
I asked him if he wanted to send an immigration lawyer. He says, shit, no, I'm coming myself.
Right.
I said, what? I said, but you don't do that kind of stuff. He said, yeah, but you're different.
Yeah, he got to stand
I'm
up for
coming
you.
myself. So we went there and I went to court, and they were presenting and telling the judge just how much things that the RCMP's got on me, and people like me they don't need in Canada and shit. And
Yes.
so, then by this time, I had already had two set of kids in Montreal,
Yes.
and that set of kids again in Calgary, So,
Yes.
the cops, they were always talking about here, man, I don't know how you do it, man. If I ever do that, my wife would have killed me and this, that,
So
and they
how many
always
kids
teasing
you
me,
had at that by
So
that time? How many kids
when
you
they
had
come to
then?
court, they are presenting these things to the judge, and the judge
Oh,
says,
Paul, how many kids you had then?
I got about 9 kids there in Canada.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, by then I had about 9 kids.
Okay.
So, when the judge says to me, says, "Oh, so how are you able to have 2 wives? Because it's like 2 families. You have 2 complete wife families,
Yes.
I says, yes, miss, but I didn't break the law and marry to 2 women. I'm only married to 1, but
Yeah.
I treat the other one just the same too,
Right.
She say, I say, I'm Rasta, and we are from the cultures of Africa,
Yes.
So it's nothing bad. It is more of strength for the
Yes.
family.
Yes.
The family grow, and it grows, and it grows, and each
Yeah.
one helps the other one. So
Right.
it's not a contest like how you ladies, because she was a lady. It was a lady judge,
Yeah.
So she was really, I said, we look at it different, and those ladies they think each other is an asset. So
Yes.
they don't squabble and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And she shakes her head, man, and she says, I need you to come back here at 1:30.
Right.
I have to take lunch. I need some coffee. She says, you're too much.
She need a coffee.
Back here, and okay, I'll be back here at 1:30.
Yeah.
Only to note that she and my lawyer had studied together. They passed the bar exam together.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they were very good friends,
Yeah.
Yeah. So they met, and they cooked up whatever they was cooking up,
Yes.
And when we went back to court, she says to me that, I don't know the circumstances or the evidence that they have against you,
Mm-hmm.
But in the immigration, we look at the whole background.
Right.
And when someone has so much problems with the law, it doesn't look good for an immigration settlement.
Right.
So I think if you are even able to win all of these cases, the immigration after this will ask you to leave Canada.
Right.
So I said, even if I'm not guilty, and she says, yes, that's what I'm telling you, because your reputation is not very good.
Yes.
I think if there was some time, and you know, if you were deported, it might be harder for you to come back.
Right.
I have to think about those children.
Yes.
It says, you know, and those children would need you back here.
Yeah.
And if you were deported, it might be harder for you to come back here to take care of those children.
Right.
And it seems like you take care of those children very well.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the paper here, and they all go to very good schools.
Right.
So, yeah, so she says, I'm going to offer you something, you know, the immigration here. We can offer you what is called a voluntary departure.
Okay.
And if you can find a way to leave and go home to Jamaica and
Yes.
reapply,
Yes.
I would suggest it in probably 2 or 3 years
Yes.
when things have blown over.
Yeah.
Then, you know, at the same time, everybody who I used to phone,
Yeah.
these guys went to everybody's house.
Yeah.
And they were searching people's house. And some of these people were charged
Yes.
for conspiracy with me
Yes.
to be running an underworld business
Ah.
with narcotics.
Yes.
Yeah. So when I spoke to the lawyer afterwards, you know, I went to his office and he was explaining to me that, you know, if you take this offer, everybody goes free.
Right.
Everybody goes free.
Yeah.
So he designed a little plan for me how to leave, and I took the plan and I left.
Ah.
And
That was good of you.
all the
Even
guys-
though they didn't hold you with nothing.
got away. Yeah, everybody was sent home.
Yeah.
And the guy who was my main co-conspirator
Yeah.
in those charges, he had a business place,
Yes.
and some guy from in the Middle East and himself had a issue,
Yeah.
nothing related to drugs or anything, a business issue
Yeah.
about a car.
Yeah.
And the guy wasn't satisfied with how it was being dealt with.
Mhm.
And this guy went to his home, came back with a shotgun, and blew the guy's head off. Right
Wow.
here in his business place.
Wow.
So, he being dead and me leaving, everybody will walk free.
Oh. So, but if you had stayed, you could have beaten that case in Calgary, right?
Well, if I had stayed and that had happened to him, then, you know, the lawyers would have shifted everything from me to him,
Right.
who's already dead.
Right.
And then I would have walked free too.
Yeah, because they didn't take
But-
nothing off you. They found it in the
I
ladies'
know
washroom.
That happened, you know.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, he died, and you know,
Yes.
I was here in Jamaica and I heard that this shit happened, man. I said, "Oh man!" And he's a
Ah.
guy like myself with quite a few kids, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, it was really a bug out.
Yeah.
I mean, some of his kids and some of my kids are still friends till today. They moved to Toronto.
Yeah.
and they're still friends up till today, you know.
Yeah, and this is 31 years
I was
ago.
talking to one of my daughters, and she was telling me they were at each other's birthday party this year. Gone.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And Paul.
they are both 30 years old.
Yeah, Paul. Paul.
3-year-old. Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah.
This is 31 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're
when
still
I
there
left
in
that
Jamaica.
girl who I said call me. When I left, she was just going to be 1 year old.
Wow, wow. So have you thought of coming back to Canada?
Well, you know, they put out something at the court where my baby mother, the one in Calgary told me, they said, like, you know, they put out a re-entry warrant on you.
Okay.
And they told us all that if you try to come back to Canada, then we would all be recharged and we'd have to come to court.
Yes.
So, for that reason, I never did try, you know.
Okay,
I didn't
okay.
want to jeopardize the situation.
Okay.
So I never really did try, you know.
Yes, yes.
So, you know, here it's not an easy life here, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, you got to think about the benefit for your kids most time, and
Right.
and these women that was really good to you, you know.
Yeah, and your grandkids
And,
now.
know,
You got grandkids, right?
Yeah, and I got like about 15 or 16 grandkids over there right now.
Oh man.
So yeah.
I think
would
it's
like to be able to
30
come
years
and
now or
visit
more.
out of just know some of these guys.
Yeah, 30 years or more, man. I think you should get a lawyer.
Grandpa, when are we gonna see you?
Yeah.
I says, I'm not sure. You tell your mom to bring you here.
Ah.
You know, yeah. So yeah.
Oh man. You've been through the fire, man.
Them are doing pretty well.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I got a grandson who was a boxer. He's like 24.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
His mother is my oldest child there, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
The first child I had, a car hit her down in Montreal.
Oh, my condolence, my brother.
You know? So, yeah, that was tough, you know.
Yeah, yes.
So, the one who was the second one now, that was her son. They live in the Montreal in Toronto, you know.
Yes.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I
Paul.
think he was born in Montreal.
Yeah.
She was born in Montreal.
Yes.
And yeah.
Well,
But,
Paul.
She does some kind of big jobs with kids, you know.
Okay.
I think she's a social worker type of girl. So, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Paul.
Got this job in Toronto.
Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul. This is a very interesting story, man. I'm gonna do another part with you when your life in Jamaica. How you've been doing for 31 years. How you survived 31 years down there and still going strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna come back at you, Paul. And thanks for talking to Yardman Second Chance, sharing your stories, man.
Yeah.
They sound really interesting.
Okay.
So my brother, just take care, and we're gonna link again for another story. I know you're doing for 31 years down there. So we're gonna talk again, Paul.
You just gotta live, eh?
Yeah. And thank you, my brother, for calling my show.
Yeah.
All right, Paul.
We will link again very soon.
Okay, my friend. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, Paul.
Okay, man. It's good talking to your people too, you know.
All right. Thanks, man. Okay, Paul.
Blessings to each and every one, you know, who listen to their show.
Okay. All right.
Okay, then.
We talk again.
Okay,
all right.
then.
Thank you.
Up.
Yeah, bless. Yeah. Okay, that was Paul there. Really interesting stories. And you're listening to Yardman Second Chance, where we inform, motivate, and inspire people. Right? So this is an interesting story. So we're out.